she let them shoot for an autograph. This is one of the clips here. It's several clips. This is the first one that we about to react to. Let's check it out.
Well, he has the jersey on. He has the jersey on. You want me to sign it? Try to make it first.
Watch that reaction carefully. That's not just a fan missing a shot. That's Caitlin Clark making someone's entire year with a signature she didn't have to give. And this wasn't some isolated moment of kindness. This was part of a full-scale Nike event that's been quietly unfolding in Oregon. And the footage coming out is revealing something massive about where Clark's career is heading in 2020. Nike didn't just invite her to their headquarters. They transformed their entire world headquarters into a Caitlin Clark experience. We're talking custom cookies with her logo, coffee stations branded with her signature, life-size dunking setups featuring her likeness. This is the kind of rollout Nike reserved for Michael Jordan in the 90s and LeBron James in the 2000s. And it's happening for a WNBA player whose league is currently on strike.
We know she got a big drop coming in the spring of 2026, from my understanding. That is her signature shoe. It's finna come out. It's gonna break the damn internet. Like, if you guys don't think Caitlin is gonna have the hottest selling sneaker probably in the year 2026, I feel like Caitlin Clark got the verge to beat Michael Jordan potentially in sneaker sales if she performs on the basketball court. Yes, if she performs.
Here's what makes this timing so critical. Clark's signature shoe is scheduled to drop in spring 2026. That's not speculation, that's confirmed. And for that launch to have maximum impact, she needs to be on a basketball court dominating headlines. But right now, there's no guarantee there will be a 2026 WNBA season. The league and the Players Association are in a complete standoff over the new collective bargaining agreement. No negotiations are happening, no progress is being reported. And every week that passes without a resolution pushes the league closer to a scenario where there's no basketball when Clark's shoe hits stores. Nike has reportedly invested $28 million in Clark over 8 years. That's the largest endorsement deal in WNBA history. And right now, their biggest investment is sitting on the sidelines while her league figures out if it even wants to exist next year.
Yep. Wow. She didn't make it. Well, I thought she hit that from all the way over there. Now, that was truly legendary. She would have made that one. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. So, Caitlin Clark. Now, I believe there's one more clip, too, if I can get it pulled up here. Like, I just love doing videos like this because this is just so cool.
But Nike isn't waiting around. They're building the Caitlin Clark brand, with or without the WNBA's cooperation. Look at what they did with this event. They created the From Anywhere Challenge, where fans got to shoot from Clark's signature deep range for a chance to win autographed merchandise. Multiple fans hit shots. Clark signed every single item personally. She stayed for hours interacting with Nike employees and their families. This is brand building at the highest level. Nike is positioning Clark, not just as a basketball player, but as a cultural icon who connects with everyday people. They're creating viral moments that spread across social media without needing a single game to be played. That mini basketball with her logo that they handed out, that's not available in stores yet. Those custom CC jackets the Nike staff were wearing, not for sale. Nike is creating scarcity and demand before the product even exists.
Shocked the world and appeared at the Nike studios. It's a bunch of clips that has come out of the pipeline. We finna react to them all, man. This is one right here. I think it's about 6 or 7 of them. Let's check it out. Hey, bro, this jacket, nice. I can't even lie. I don't even think this is out yet. This ain't out yet. This CC Nike jacket is out. That's probably gonna be like $300-400. I ain't gonna lie to you. That look premium. That look real premium there. Now, this is a picture here of Caitlin Clark first coming in. Now, she did give a speech. Hold on. She shoots basketball with a little mini ball.
And then, there's the logo itself. Clark's CC logo is appearing everywhere at this event. It's on basketballs, tote bags, jackets, even baked into cookies. Some people have compared it to Chanel or Gucci's interlocking letters. But that comparison actually proves the point. This isn't just a sports logo. This is a luxury brand identifier that works on athletic gear and fashion pieces equally well. No active basketball player has a logo this versatile. Not Giannis, not Luka, not even LeBron's crown logo has this kind of crossover appeal. Clark's logo is unisex. It's elegant, and it translates across product categories in a way that makes Nike's investment make perfect sense. They're not just selling basketball shoes, they're building a lifestyle brand that can generate revenue whether Clark plays another game or not.
Including the fire tote bag from anywhere. Now, this is the From Anywhere challenge. Caitlin Clark worldwide, man. She definitely is. It said promo material shown and given out during Caitlin Clark visit. I believe this is another clip, some more clips. Let me just go to the Caitlin Clark off-season page. Shout out to them. I don't know who run this account, but they do a damn good job, man. They don't give enough credit to Caitlin Clark off-season source. It could be somebody connected to Caitlin. We don't know who run this Twitter account, but
now let's talk about what this means for the WNBA's negotiating position, because this is where things get uncomfortable for the league. Caitlin Clark's value is increasingly independent of the WNBA's success. Nike is proving that right now. They're generating massive engagement and brand awareness through events like this one in Oregon. They don't need WNBA games to make Clark relevant. That changes the entire dynamic of these labor negotiations. Traditionally, players need the league more than the league needs any individual player. But Clark has flipped that equation. If the WNBA doesn't have a 2026 season, Clark will be fine. She'll do Nike events, she'll play in international leagues if she wants, she'll build her brand through social media and appearances. But the WNBA, they'll lose their biggest ratings driver, their most marketable star, and their best chance at securing a transformative media rights deal.
Baby hoop. Now, Caitlin Clark did make this shot yesterday, and we're going to go over some of the footage there, but there's more fan interaction too. Let me see if I can pull it up for y'all real quick, because she let another fan do it. And I believe the young man made it. And yeah, this one right here was legendary. Let's watch it real quick.
Let's put some numbers on this. Clark's rookie season generated unprecedented ratings for the WNBA. Games featuring the Indiana Fever averaged over 1 million viewers on multiple occasions. Her jersey became the league's best seller within weeks. Attendance at Fever games increased by 300% compared to the previous season. And that success directly led to the league negotiating new media rights deals worth $200 million annually, starting in 20. But here's the problem. Those media deals assume Clark will be playing. ESPN and Amazon didn't pay that money to broadcast games without the league's biggest star. If there's no 2026 season, or if the labor dispute drags on and damages the product, those deals could be renegotiated or reduced in value. The WNBA has never had this much leverage in media negotiations, and it's almost entirely because of one player. That player is currently in Oregon doing Nike events instead of preparing for a season that might not happen.
Caitlin Clark is there. Now, just
Straight up.
like, she talked for like 2 seconds, man. This is somebody from Nike. I think footage is still coming out, man. Let me try to refresh this real quick, because I still think it's footage still coming out from this event. Wow, look, it says Caitlin Clark logo cookies to coffee to shooting in Duncan on CC logo backgrounds. Nike WHQ is dripped out with CC stuff. I ain't lying, man. We ain't seen nothing like this since Michael Jordan came, bro. Nike, like, people was feeling it.
Watch this footage of Clark walking through Nike's campus. The energy is completely different from how she's treated at WNBA events. At Nike, she's the unquestioned star. Everything revolves around her. The entire headquarters was redecorated for her visit. Employees lined up for hours just to meet her. She wasn't sharing the spotlight with anyone. Compare that to WNBA All-Star Weekend, where the league tries to promote dozens of players simultaneously, and Clark becomes just another face in the crowd. Or compare it to how the league handled her rookie season, where they seemed almost reluctant to market around her dominance because it might upset veteran players. Nike has no such concerns. They know exactly what they have, and they're building everything around it. Here's what makes this entire situation so significant. We're watching the creation of a sports business model that hasn't really existed before. Caitlin Clark is becoming the first women's basketball player whose brand value is genuinely independent of her league. That's not a criticism of her or the WNBA. It's just a recognition of how dramatically the landscape has changed. Social media, streaming platforms, and global brand partnerships have created a path for athletes to build massive followings without traditional sports league infrastructure. Clark has 11 million social media followers across platforms. That's more than any current WNBA player and more than most NBA stars. When she posts content, it reaches millions of people instantly, without needing ESPN or the WNBA's marketing machine. Nike recognized this early and structured their entire partnership around it. The $28 million deal isn't just about selling shoes during WNBA games. It's about creating a year-round brand presence that generates value through social content, appearances, international events, and cultural relevance. This Nike headquarters takeover is a perfect example. It probably cost Nike less than $100,000 to execute, but it generated millions of impressions across social media and created dozens of viral moments that reinforce Clark's connection with fans. Now think about the WNBA's position in all this. The league is fighting for higher salaries, better travel conditions, and increased revenue sharing. Those are legitimate demands that every player deserves, but the league's leverage in these negotiations comes almost entirely from Clark's ability to drive ratings and sponsorship revenue. If she's not playing, that leverage evaporates instantly. And here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody in the WNBA wants to say out loud. Clark doesn't actually need the league as much as the league needs her. Her Nike deal alone pays her $3.5 million annually. That's more than the WNBA's maximum salary by a factor of 10. She has endorsement deals with State Farm, Gatorade, and multiple other brands that collectively pay her more in a month than most WNBA players make in an entire season. If the WNBA doesn't have a 2026 season, Clark loses her basketball platform but keeps all her endorsement income. She might even gain opportunities to play internationally for massive salaries or participate in alternative leagues that aren't bound by WNBA restrictions. But the WNBA loses everything. No ratings, no sponsorship growth, no momentum from the historic 2025 season, no ability to deliver on those new media rights deals. This creates a really difficult dynamic for the Players Association. They're trying to negotiate as a unified group, but they have one member whose individual value dwarfs everyone else's combined. Clark can't publicly break ranks with her fellow players. That would be a PR disaster and would undermine the entire labor movement. But privately, she has to know that she's in a completely different situation than the rest of the league. Nike understands this perfectly. That's why they're investing so heavily in building her brand outside of basketball context. They're creating value that exists, whether she plays 0 games or 80 games next season. This headquarters event, the signature shoe launch, the lifestyle brand positioning, all of it works with or without the WNBA's cooperation. And that's actually good for Clark's long-term career. Athletes have notoriously short primes. Injuries happen, performance declines, but brand value, if built correctly, can last decades. Nike is setting Clark up to be relevant and profitable long after her playing career ends. They're following the blueprint they used with Michael Jordan, who has generated more revenue from his brand in retirement than he ever made playing basketball. The question now is whether the WNBA recognizes the urgency of this moment. They have a once-in-a-generation star who's driving unprecedented growth and interest. But that star has options that didn't exist for previous WNBA players. If the league doesn't resolve this labor dispute quickly and get basketball back on TV, they risk losing the momentum that Clark created. Because here's what happens if there's no 2026 season. Clark's Nike shoe still launches in spring. It probably sells incredibly well based on her existing popularity. But without games to watch, without highlights to share, without that weekly connection to fans. Some of that momentum, not all of it, but enough to matter. And when the WNBA eventually does come back, whether it's 2027 or later, they're starting over from a lower baseline. Fans are fickle. Casual viewers who discovered the WNBA through Clark in 2025 won't necessarily come back if there's a year or two gap. They'll find other things to watch. The algorithm will stop recommending WNBA content, and the league will be back to fighting for attention in a crowded sports marketplace. So what's the solution? The WNBA and the Players Association need to recognize that time is not on their side. Every week without a resolution costs the league momentum and credibility. They need to get a deal done, get Clark back on the court, and capitalize on the historic opportunity they have right now. Because Nike is already moving forward or without them. And if the WNBA isn't careful, they'll wake up one day and realize that their biggest star has outgrown the league entirely. That's not what anyone wants. Not the players, not the league, not the fans, but it's the reality of modern sports business. Athletes with massive social followings and global brand partnerships don't need traditional leagues the way they used to. The power dynamic has shifted, and Caitlin Clark's Nike takeover in Oregon is proof that the shift is already happening. So here's the question for you. If you were running the WNBA, would you be panicking right now because your entire growth strategy is built around one player, and that player is currently doing Nike events instead of preparing for your season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you think the WNBA is making a massive mistake by letting this labor dispute drag on, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're going to be covering every development as this situation unfolds.